And welcome back to Halloween Horror Series 2024. This is episode number 3. And today I'm going to be bringing you a movie by a controversial filmmaker and director. He's had a lot of ups and downs in his movie career. Some people like some of his movies, some people don't. He's kind of controversial for some of the films that he's made. But I think this is to me, this might be one of his better films. I don't know. Some people would disagree. But this film is called 31 by Rob Zombie. This is a steel case version of it. Okay. Um, so these people on the front here are the victims, are pretty much. And then these people here are the killers, and this guy's kind of like, I want to call him like the final boss. They call him in when these guys here can't get the job done, whatever, right? So the whole premise when Rob Zombie first announced this movie or talking about he was doing it, the whole premise is, and I'm not sure if this is actually true or not. I actually think it is. Something about more people go missing on Halloween than any other day of the year. Um, and why that is, I guess no one really knows. But the premise of this story is these group of people right here, they all work for like a carnival, right? And they all stop at this gas station to fill up and get some snacks and all different kinds of shit. And I think they get approached by a woman or something other than anyway. Because you know how guys are, man. They damn, you know, they're horny fucking dudes or whatever it is. Anyway, so something happens and they wind up getting kidnapped, right? And basically what it is they have like, I think it's 24 hours or 12 hours or something other to last in this game called 31, right? And basically these the people on these people here are trying to kill them. And each one of these people go through a different stage or something, right? Like but they all eventually have to survive all these to make it to get out and get out alive. And there's that's the back of it, right? There's some pretty gruesome stuff in here. Um, that's what the inside of it looks like. That's the disc, and then um, so basically, for those of you who don't know, if you've seen Rob Zombie's Halloween, okay, the guy that played Michael Psychiatrist in that movie, I forgot the dude's name now. Um, he is the one, like, the mastermind behind all this, right? Like, he's like the leader of this game or whatever it is. And basically, like I said, these fuckers here have to get out alive, and they some pretty interesting shit in this movie, and there's some gruesome kills and shit like that in there. And of course, you know Rob Zombie. There's a lot of like nudity and fucking language and stuff like that in this movie. But overall, in general, I think this is a great movie. I think it's one of the better movies that he's done. Uh, it it's so I will say this. It sort of kind of has this almost House of a Thousand Corpses slash Devil Rejects kind of twist to it, kind of like in a way, right? But it's still a great movie, and to me it is. I mean, there's probably a lot of people thinks this movie's junk. There's a lot of people out here that thinks that anything that Rob Zombie does is junk, and they have a right to that. They have a right to their opinion. I think this is one of his better movies. I think Like, I think it was kind of controversial last time that I did Rob Zombie's Halloween. I did it in the first Halloween horror series. Um, Maybe that's something we'll get into later on down the road. I'll do another video on it. But there's some people that hate this movie, but like Lords of Salem. And that's another weird ass movie. I don't have it in my collection. It's one of the ones I want to pick up. But I say if you're a fan of like those type of movies where someone gets kidnapped and they have to fucking like fight these people or fucking play these games to get the fuck out of it, then I think you'll like this movie. It's like I said, it's Rob Zombie. It's a little over the top. It's gory. It's language and all different kinds of good shit in it. But and it's got people in it that he's had in some of his movies before and stuff. I think one of the guys in here was in From Hell or Three from Hell. I think one of the guys in here was from he might have been like in Halloween or one of his other movies. So he usually has a reoccurring cast of people that are usually in these movies. But like I said, I think it's a well done movie, and it has some special features on it. One thing I'll usually say about Rob Zombie when it comes to special features, he usually has these real long documentaries on the making of these movies and stuff. And so yeah, it's pretty good. Like I said, some people think I'm biased because I'm a Rob Zombie fan, and that I don't never talk shit about none of his movies. That's not true. I give criticism where criticism is due, and I give praise where praise is due. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know Rob Zombie gets a lot of slack for his movies, but I'm gonna tell you something. As a guy who's an old school horror fan, a guy who grew up like years ago when I was a kid and early teen, my genre of music was horror, and like I would go get the latest horror movies and bring them home and watch them and see if they could scare me or whatever. And there's not been a lot of movies that's ever really scared me, though some of them they'll fuck with your mind and stuff, but I just love a lot of those good old classic horror movies. And I don't never really think in like that's like some people would like. I'm actually gonna do one of his movies here in one of the episodes, and that's Vincent Price, who's probably might be my favorite actor of all time, maybe, or at least my favorite horror movie genre actor of all time. And a lot of his movies never were scary, but it was just the way they were done, and they were made for the time period for which they were in, and different people in different decades and different things. There's different levels of horror, and like what might have scared somebody in say the 50s or 60s, early 70s may not be nothing nowadays, because nowadays maybe some people have seen just about fucking everything, so nothing fucking bothers them. Where back in the day, you didn't have all this technology and have all this stuff now where you could just kind of see everything. So different things scared people in different ways. And so, like I'm saying, like, not that I'm saying this movie's scary or anything. I'm just saying that horror is, I think, you have to perceive horror in this. Are they trying to scare you, or is it more of a psychological horror movie? Is it more where it's not scary? It doesn't have jump scares. There's not people running out like stabbing people, but is it fucking with your mind? Kind of those things where it's one of those things. Those are the kind of movies that I kind of like. I like those kind of movies that have this core thing where maybe it's not, they're not trying to like jump out of a bush and scare you or chase you down the street with a chainsaw or a knife or something. Maybe it's one of those things that it's more of a psychological thing where it's like you look at it and you're like, wow, this shit could actually happen. Like this is something that can really, like, you could see that in reality, something happening. And sometimes I think those movies are more scary than like just the kind of like, you know, horror movies like say like Freddy or Jason or Halloween and stuff like that. Those type of movies. Like sometimes I think those movies that are just more like they hit you at a core kind of movies. And I don't necessarily always think that Rob Zombie, that's what he's trying to do. Like, I know he loves the gore and stuff like that, and don't get me wrong. Like, I think, like, when I watch, like, some movies, like, you take, for instance, like, House of a Thousand Corpses, right? That movie there, I don't think it's really meant to be more of a horror movie, like, it's supposed to jump out and grab you. Like it's one of those movies like, okay, it's about this fucked up family who kidnaps these people and they fucking kill them and torture them and do all this shit. And it was kind of, I think the whole premise of that was kind of based around Ed Gein. You know, the whole kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of thing. And you think about all these people who've been kidnapped over the years and held hostage and shit's been done to them and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that I think really get to people more than anything, right? So those are those movies that are like, okay, you hear about stuff like this and you're like, well, man, this shit actually happens. So it's kind of one of those things, right? So to me, I think horror is judged by different ways, and this is sort of kind of something like that. I think, and like I say, some of his movies get a lot of bad rap, but I think it's because people don't go into them with an open mind. They already have this perceived, oh, it's a Rob Zombie movie, so it's going to be fucked up to begin with. And so already at the beginning, they've already looking down on it when you got to give a movie kind of a chance to go, okay, this is different. This is, done a little bit different. He's trying to do something different here. I give him fucking credit for it. You know what I'm saying? Where I think that where people really got to hating on Rob Zombie is when he done his version of Halloween. And this is going to piss some people off, and I don't give a damn what people say or what they think. But if you want my honest opinion, I think Rob Zombie's Halloween is better than the original, because to me, I've watched the fucking original movie and I just don't see the fucking hype behind it. I just don't see the whole thing, like the whole premise behind it. Okay, yeah, shoot, this dude kills his fucking sister because he had a kid and then escapes from a fucking mental ward or whatever it is, years later, and goes back to the fucking hometown that he was fucking from or whatever. I kind of like the ties in that Rob Zombie did in his version of the movie. Of course, you can watch all that. I got it on the original Halloween horror series I did. I may go back at a period and do some of those movies over again, because when I recorded them, at the time, I had some audio issues that I was going through, and I never could figure out what was causing some of my audio issues that I had. And then eventually I wound up getting a better mic and all that stuff and started doing some other things, and it seemed to work a little bit better. So anyway, I want people to watch this with an open mind and don't go into it with preconceived notions that, oh, this movie fucking sucks because it's Rob Zombie. I mean, if you go into it with open mind and you still fucking think it blows, then that's fine. That's your opinion, and you have a right to it, But I really think it's a good movie, and I think people will enjoy it if you just give it a chance or whatever. And so yeah, thanks again for watching. Like I said, if you like my video, like it, leave a comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. It would really help me out. I'm trying to build this channel up. I have another segment on my thing called Let's Talk Vinyl. If you're into like music and vinyl and stuff like that, you can check those videos out. I've got like I do different and just kind of give you an overview. If maybe you're catching this for the first time, right? I do reviews on like music, movies, books, anything that has sort of kind of do with like media and the arts or whatever. Because I'm a former radio DJ, but I'm also a lover of, and I'm also an independent author, and I love just music and movies and books and stuff in general. So I like to do, you know, I like to review all different kinds of things. So anyway, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but if you get a chance, check out Rob Zombies 31. I think you'll like it. This is a steelbook version. There's a, and this steelbook version was done by Lionsgate. I don't know if it's still available, but I know there's a regular, like, just Blu-ray version of it, standard version of it. The cover's a lot different. But anyway, have a great day. Have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.